Welcome to the Poker Heaven Hungarian Cup. We're here in Budapest for one of the biggest poker tournaments in the country's calendar. 79 players have descended on the capital with just one thing on their mind. Throughout the show, we'll be bringing you the highs and lows from the tournament, as well as explaining the ins and outs of poker. So sit back and enjoy the action. Hungary's finest gathered at the Royal Poker Club here in Budapest to take part in the much-anticipated Poker Heaven Hungarian Cup.
I have friends here, we can talk here, so I prefer live.
It became trendy in the last, 1 year, I would say, 1.5. Now everyone plays poker here.
As day one was about to get underway, players flocked to the front of the casino to draw their seats in one of the two heats. And it was left to the president of the Hungarian Poker Association to welcome the players and explain the tournament details. The Poker Heaven Hungarian Cup will see 79 players compete over 3 days for the title and first prize of €2,000. Players will be divided into two heats across 2 days, in which the top 16 players will progress along with their chip stacks to day 3 and the semi-finals. The top 10 players will be guaranteed to finish in the money, and the tournament will conclude once a single player remains and a champion has been crowned. Now, before we hit the tables, it's time for a quick reminder of how to play at No Limit Texas Hold'em. The two players to the left of the button, or nominated dealer, place the small blind and the big blind. These are force bets to get the action started. Then all players are dealt 2 cards face down. Now we have the first round of betting with the player after the big blind acting first. He or she can now fold, match the big blind or raise it. Once all the players have acted, the first 3 of the shared or community cards are dealt face up, and this is called the flop. Then we have another round of betting and the next card is dealt. This is called the turn. Then there's some more betting and the final community card, the river, followed by the last round of betting. Everyone still in the hand turns over their cards and the best 5-card hand wins. It was now time for the first heat to begin as 39 players took their seats across 4 tables. Day 1 got underway with the usual blend of excitement and trepidation as players were eager to make their mark at the table. As per any poker tournament, luck seemed to be reserved for a select few, whilst others were left ruining the day after gambling their chips on a mere pair. We pick up the action in the 3rd level as we join our commentators Grub Smith and Trevor Harris.
So the blinds here now 300 and 600. Call from seat 3, that's Joseph Kiss. Seat 5 is Erno Reisenberger. Looks like there might be some multi-way action here. Small blind has made the call. And it looks like Janos Herzog is all in here.
That is a massive over-the-top from Herzog. 7,000 chips. He's got a call from Reisenberger with ace-10. Well, that's optimistic by both of them. Perhaps Reisenberger thought Herzog's bet was just too big. It looked weak.
Flops come 2-2. There's the 10. And now Herzog's in real trouble. An ace would split this.
Yes, the best he can hope for is half. It needs to be a bullet. It isn't.
And we have to say goodbye to Janos Herzog, taken down by Erno Reisenberger.
Massive win there for Reisenberger.
As the blinds went up, the short stacks grabbed every opportunity to get back into the game.
An 8 on the river takes it down.
Some managed to spike a miracle card, whilst others were left with nothing but memories of their short time at the table.
And the river is a king.
So we've got 2 players now to this flop, which comes 6-3 ace.
Peter Dragar in seat 2. Reaching for chips, puts in 2,000.
Stella looks like she wants to play, and she's raised it.
6,000 from Stella. Peter does a bit of a chin stroke and then decides to call.
So this is getting to be a big pot now. Here's the turn.
8 of diamonds. Well, if somebody was drawing to that flush, it hasn't helped. It's Peter who bets and Stella who just calls this time. Will he interpret that as weakness?
Well, the river cards are 3, so that pairs the board now.
Peter has bet pretty much every card. He does it again. Stella, having come this far, decides to call. Who's going to take this one down?
Ace Queen for Peter, and Stella shows Ace 6. She's got two better pair, and she takes it down.
Yes, Peter got a little bit confident there when that 3 came down at the end. He thought his 2 pairs were good with that queen kicker.
An absolute truth in poker is this: short stacks cannot afford the luxury of time.
Well, this is basically a coin flip, and there's the ace.
Strategy and skill are thrown out the window as players commit their chips to the felt. All they can do is stand and pray that the poker gods will favour their bravery.
Norbert needs another spade to stay alive. It's not to be, and he becomes another casualty of day 1.
Now, some of you may have noticed that at the start of every hand, this small black button is passed around the table, followed by 2 players placing their chips across the line. These are the button and blinds, and this is how it works. In poker, a round disc called the dealer button is used as a marker to indicate the player who is dealing. Having the button is the best possible seat, as you'll have more information with which to make your decisions. The player with the button is said to have position, as he will get to act last. The button moves clockwise around the table after each hand is completed. Before any cards are dealt, the small and big blinds must be posted. These are force bets made by the 2 players to the left of the dealer button and are used to induce the players to enter the pot. The small blind is posted by the first player to the left of the button, and the big blind is posted by the player to the left of the small blind. The big blind is double the amount of the small blind and will act last pre-flop. On all subsequent betting rounds, the action begins with the first player to the left of the button. So 4 tables has now gone down to 3, and the remaining 30 players are all battling it out for a place in the final 8.
We've got a guaranteed showdown here because Aniko Lenvai is all in from seat 6. Laszlo Fejes has called, and now it's down to Erno Riesenberger.
Plenty of value on the felt, and he does make the call.
So a 3-way showdown here.
Obviously we're going to see some strong hands. And the card's turned over. There it is, pocket 10s, ace king, and a rather paltry looking queen jack. But strange things happen in poker, and look at that, the queen's in front.
How often does it happen? The worst hand of the 3 to start with, that makes 2 pair.
Straight draw for the ace. Would need a 10, it isn't there. Queen jack stands up, and Aniko delighted.
And we say goodnight to Laszlo. His short time at the table's over.
I don't think anyone can believe that one.
Back to the action then. Whole cards being checked. No shortage of early action in this tournament.
Erno has called a raise from Peter Dragar. Aniko gets out of the way. And the blinds follow suit. So 2 players going to see a flop. And it has come king, king, 8.
And 2 clubs on board as well. 5,000 from Peter. Fairly quick bet too.
Oh no, not hanging around. He makes it 15,000.
So that's a sizable raise and all in. It was a verbal all in there from Peter.
And that is going to put Erno out of this tournament if he calls. Big decision.
He might be pot committed here, you know.
I think we can safely say he doesn't have a king. In fact, he shows pocket queens.
Wow. A lot of respect there for Peter's raise.
Giving him the stare down now. Peter wins one without having to show.
After a promising start at the televised table, Aniko Lenvai called an all-in against Doroski Victor. Her pocket hooks were up against his ace-king.
So she needs to dodge 6 cards and now a diamond. And there's the ace. She's going to have a jack. Not there, and she's gone.
The very next hand saw yet another player commit his chips to the felt.
Erno Riesenberger is all in with ace-8. Isvan Hanti with queen-king. And there's a queen on the river. How cruel! And that is the end of Erno.
It seemed more and more names were to join the casualty list.
Well, Dragunov started with the worst of it, but he's finished with the best of it, and Hanti is history. It's Peter Marjai in seat 2. It's 4,000 to call, and he has made the call.
The button folds. It's a call from Janos Vig. And we're going to see a flop. Queen, king, and a jack. That's pretty.
So all paint on the board. Now who's going to take the initiative? It's Janos with 8,000.
Action round to Peter. And he comes over the top. 30,000. That is a hefty raise. But Janos is all in.
Yes, it was almost reluctant, wasn't it? I think the way he put his chips in. He doesn't like what he sees.
Throws his hands up and throws his cards down. Just king deuce. He's out-kicked at the moment. Some split pot opportunities.
He needs to find a 2. And it's not there, and he's gone.
9 plays. And Peter has won a massive pot. Long and lonely walk for Janos. Once again, it is Peter Marjai, this time reaching for a raise pre-flop.
He's got the taste for racing, hasn't he? We saw him win a big pot just a few moments ago.
Everyone folding out of the way. I can't work out whether Stella is excited or sick of how bad her cards are. Well, it's chips she's reaching for, so there's your answer. She makes the call.
And Imre is all in. So we're going to see a flop here, which comes King 5-9 with a couple of diamonds there.
Stella first to act, puts in 6,000. Peter smiles and folds, so we are heads up and the cards will go over.
Oh, ladies for the lady.
But he's in front with the king. So Stella now has only 2 outs, the queens.
She's about an 8% underdog, now 4%.
Can she hit one?
Oh! Sometimes the underdog wins. Look at that.
Well, Imre is laughing, but inside, sick as a dog.
Well, that's it for this part, but join us after the break when we're going to be bringing an end to day 1. We'll be taking a tour around this beautiful city and we'll be introducing ourselves to the rest of the field.